Yo, what's good with y'all? It's your boy Nick, and welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to Sports Logically, rating every trade of the 2026 NBA trade deadline. Let's get right
Let's
into
grade
it.
all the big moves from the 2026 NBA trade deadline. First, Jaren Jackson Jr. to the Utah Jazz. I gave the Jazz a B and
Oh,
the
they
Grizzlies a
got
B plus.
three
Let's talk
first
about
round
this first
picks.
for you.
That's a crazy trade right there. But I mean, we expected Ja to get moved, but I feel like it wasn't a bad move by Memphis. He gave Memphis a B plus. My rating for Memphis, I would say I would actually switch that around. I would give Utah a B plus, and then Memphis a B.
Utah. I like Jaren Jackson Jr., generally speaking, as a player, but I'm a little bit unsure about the fit in Utah. We're really going to be relying on Walker Kessler here to be healthy and be good because Jaren Jackson has to play next to a traditional big because it doesn't rebound very well, which means that Lauri Markkanen, the best player on the team, is going to be playing out of position at the three. I don't like that. I also don't like the fact that you're going to be relying on Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, and Keyonte George at about $140 million a year when Keyonte George signs his new deal, and you don't really have a lot of postseason success to show that that's actually a good core. Lauri Markkanen's never played in a playoff game in his career. Obviously, Keyonte George hasn't. Jaren Jackson has had some postseason success, but I get a little nervous when you're committing that much money and you're trading away some significant stuff in exchange for Jaren Jackson when you don't really know if it's going to work. I get the concept. I totally understand what they're trying to do, but I don't love what they're doing here. It's not that I hate it. It's only a B grade, but I like the trade better for Memphis because they correctly, in my opinion, recognized that they weren't going to be going anywhere anytime soon, and they needed to go ahead and make some moves and get some of these picks like they did with Desmond.
Yeah, I feel that, but like as I was saying in the Keontae George video, I feel like Utah's just building around him, and that's perfect. The league right now is about length. It's about people that are tall and that can guard 1 through 5. Like take Atlanta for example. We got guys that could guard almost all the guys on our team could guard 1 through 5. That's because they are lengthy, they're long. Nikhil Alexander Walker, he's a point guard, but he's 6'5" and then got long wingspan, so he's able to guard a small forward if he needs to. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Bane, and they got significant value here for Jaren Jackson, who is good, but also that contract's going to be going up next year, and this was probably the time to go ahead and capitalize on whatever value you could for Jaren Jackson. It sets them up for a really interesting future. They weren't able to trade away Ja Morant, which makes this a little bit awkward, but obviously the team is building around Zach Edey, Cedric Howard, a couple of other young guys, and then all.
Hey, and that was the number one thing that they needed to do, though. They needed to trade Ja, and they didn't want to let him go. They wanted a first round pick from him and a young player, which that's not how it's going to work when his value is dropping every year, every month.
Of these picks, some of which that they got from Utah, I think will be pretty valuable down the road on into the future. Walter Clayton is at least a little bit interesting. Taylor Hendricks is interesting. I think Memphis did well here. I gave them a B plus. Next is a smaller one that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about, and it's Jaden Ivey to the Chicago Bulls. It was basically there was more players.
So the Pistons got Kevin Huerter and Sarge in a 2026 first, and you give them a B plus. I would say they're more like a B. I mean, they added another shooter for sure. Getting a pick is fire. Chicago getting Jaden Ivey. He is an explosive guard. Yeah. Even though Chicago got about 500 guards on the team, I mean, it made no sense. But
involved here, but it was basically Ivy for Kevin Huerter. For Detroit, I like the deal. I think it's a B plus for them. I wish there was a universe in which they could have gotten more out of Jaden Ivey, and it's really unfortunate the way that his career has turned out, because before the injury last year, it looked like there was going to be something happening there, and obviously the Detroit's really good now. But for someone that doesn't really play that much for them, to get another floor spacer, which still is an issue at times for Detroit, their floor spacing is really going to help them. And it also kind of felt like they had to play Jaden Ivey because of the draft pedigree, because of what he used to mean to the franchise. And so not having that there anymore and having someone in Huerter that you could play, could maybe not play, but obviously is more specialized, I think works out really well for them. I gave it a B+. For Chicago, I think it's an A. I think buying low on someone like Jaden Ivey with that upside, even with the impending contract stuff you're going to have to deal with, is a win for them. And they're doing what they should.
Someone order a college.
Now, I rock with the move for Chicago. I would for sure give like Chicago, I would say a A's not bad, but I would fake say a B+ for real. Like
Taking swings on young players that might turn out to be something, and they're getting rid of some of their contracts to do it. So Kevin Huerter was not really going to be anything for Chicago moving forward. Jaden Ivey might be, so I like the deal a lot for them. I gave them an A. Another Chicago deal now, Nikola Vucevic going to Boston in exchange for Anthony Simons. For the Celtics, I gave it an A grade. There's a larger Celtics conversation that we're not going to have here, but Boston did an unbelievable.
I'm not mad at this, but I would say like more a B+ for the Celtics. And then for Chicago, C is good for Chicago because they picked up another guard that they didn't need that much guards because they had Kobe White, Trey Jones, Anthony, then got Jaden Ivey, and later on I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about Rob. Having all those guards is crazy. Like come on.
Job from the start of the 2025 offseason to now. They were way over the luxury tax, way over the second apron, and then they got rid of Jrue Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, a bunch of other guys. They made some more moves at this deadline, and now they're completely under the luxury tax, and they're still one of the best teams in the conference. I think Vucevic is going to help them. Simons had been pretty good lately, so I'm not necessarily positive that this is an upgrade for them talent-wise, but it certainly spreads the talent out a little bit in a way that I think will help them. And Vooch in like a 20, 22 minute a night kind of.
Vooch for sure going to help the Celtics because of the fact that they don't have that much big man, especially after, like he said, getting rid of Porzingis and Robert Williams a couple years back. Like, they need a big man for sure, and he's for sure going to help. And then they lost Al Horford in free agency too, so he fills in that gap perfectly.
Sixth man, I guess, role is going to be really helpful for Boston, helps them with their floor spacing as well. I like the move for them. For Chicago, it's a C because I just don't, I mean, you get the second round pick, but I don't understand what Anthony Simons on a giant expiring is doing for you when Vooch was already on an expiring. I would have rather just traded for Jonathan Kuminga, frankly. If I was going to trade Vooch, I would have rather called Golden State and said, hey, I know you're looking at Kristaps Porzingis, but you can have Vucevic and we'll take Jonathan Kuminga. I would rather do that. I don't know that that deal was on the table, but it just kind of feels like they gave Vucevic away for free with the exception of a second round pick, which probably was right around his value level anyway. So maybe I'm overestimating the fact they could have gotten Kuminga, but I don't love the return here just because, again, Anthony Simons on a giant expiring. I don't really know what that does for you, especially given that the Bulls have like 1,000 guards on the roster right now. James Harden, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think we need to talk about this one for too long. It's an F- for the Cavs and an A+ for the Clippers. I did
Nah, what? An F- is crazy for the Cavs. And an A+ for the Clippers? Nah. I would say more B+ for the Clippers. And then for the Cavs, I'll say a B+ too. I think it's even for real. Like, Clippers get a young guard, like I've already said in the past video. They get a young guard, they get a guy that they're able to trade. He's able to just improve, and they got picks on top of that. Cleveland got a guy that makes them a contender and got another scorer on the team besides Donovan Mitchell. So, yeah, I don't know what he talking about with an F. Like, what?
Entire video on this already when the trade broke. I absolutely hate it for Cleveland. You're going up 10 years in age. You're relying on James Harden to save the Donovan Mitchell era in Cleveland. While for the Clippers, you're getting a young former All-Star that, might still have injury issues down the road, might never return to form, but I will take that chance every time in exchange for someone in James Harden that I didn't think had a lot of value in the first place. I love the deal for the Clippers, and I hate the deal for the Cavs. Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. I gave Washington a B+ here. I get all of the risks and the concern, but I think I'm probably higher on this deal than almost anybody.
To the Mavs? I mean, I could see where you give them, like, what though? An A+? What did they trade? What did they get? They got AJ, okay. Malachi, Marvin Bagley, 2 2 first round picks, 3 second rounds. That's not bad, but for an A+ is crazy, dude. Like that's crazy. I'll say probably an A-. And then Washington, it's a B+ for sure because they're already going to sit out AD for a year because they're trying to tank. And then D'Lo, I just heard D'Lo don't want to play for them, so he might get bought out. So yeah, B+, B+, B-, or just B for sure.
I get all of the risks and the concern, but I think I'm probably higher on this deal than almost anybody that I've seen because I just think it's cool. I think it's cool that the Wizards suddenly have Trae Young and Anthony Davis on the team, and they've got all these young guys. They still got their top pick. They really didn't have to give up a ton in order to bring those guys in. And there's a real possibility the Wizards are good next year. Now, obviously, I get the risk, the age, the contract, the injury stuff with Anthony Davis, but they basically didn't give up anything. And to be able to add someone with that talent level to a roster, to a franchise that has been desperate for success for a long time, I really liked it. I gave it a B+. But I liked it even better for Dallas. I gave them an A+. The fact that they are able to get out of this contract in its entirety and get draft compensation is an absolute win. Again, I did a full video on this one already, but the fact that they could do both, I thought they would only be able to do one or the other, get out of the contract or get draft picks. I know the draft picks aren't great, but the fact that they were able to do both, the fact they recognized now is the time to move on from Anthony Davis, and they found the perfect trade of which to make it happen to then continue to build around Cooper Flagg is absolutely an A+. Now let's talk about a pretty overlooked deal, I think, at this deadline, and it's
to OKC. This was crazy when I saw it. I feel like it's messed up for 76ers to trade him. Cause just cause he got hurt last year and then VJ came in, took his spot, that dude was still like being productive for them. And like they were doing good. They got a first round pick out of him and 3 second rounds. But I would have traded Quinn Grimes instead of Jay McCain. So for sure, a C for the Sixers and A for the Thunder. I agree. I would say the Sixers like a C-.
Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder. For the Thunder, I love it. I gave them an A. I don't really care that much about this 2026 Rockets pick and 3 future seconds. The Thunder have too many picks as it is. They can't even roster all of those guys. And so I'd rather have someone in Jared McCain that I saw last year when healthy look like one of the favorites to win the Rookie of the Year award, look like a really good shooter, a movement shooter, someone that is perfect for what Oklahoma City needs. And the fact that they recognize the need to make a move at the deadline because of, I was going to say some of their struggles lately. They're still really good, but there's definitely points of their team they need to improve. And the biggest one is shooting. And I would not be surprised at all if Jared McCain becomes really good and a significant piece of what they're building in Oklahoma City, given some of their player development history and success lately. For the Sixers, I gave it a C. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't understand why we're just dumping Jared McCain to get on the luxury tax. I talked about this recently before, but the reason they were able to do this, or I think the reason they did this, is because of the PG suspension saved them like $11 million. They got close to the tax, and then they dumped Jared McCain to do it. Okay, you got a couple of seconds and a first-round pick, and maybe in the long run, that's better than Jared McCain, but I just would have rather kept a guy that is this exciting, potentially, that plays this well with Embiid, and in the middle of one of the most exciting Sixers seasons in a long time.
Sure. I rock with McCain. McCain is tough. He's going to be good for OKC for sure. It's just adding to their depth and building that championship roster more and more, for sure.
Lame to dump an exciting young guy just to get under the luxury tax, so I gave them a C grade. Another overlooked one, the Hornets get Kobe White basically in exchange for like Colin Sexton from second.
I forgot they traded Kobe White. I forgot about that.
Round picks.
They got another guard on top of that in Colin Sexton. That's crazy.
I like the deal a lot for Charlotte. I gave them a B+. I like the idea of going from Colin Sexton to Kobe White just in terms of shooting, floor spacing, just more of a dynamic offensive player. And I just really like the fact that the Hornets are buyers at the deadline. By the way, the rest of this trade did get moved around a little bit because Ousmane Dieng got sent elsewhere, but the core of the deal is that they got Kobe White. And it's
I agree with his grading for sure.
It's just cool that the Hornets are adding players that they're trying to make the play-in. As of this recording, they would be in the play-in, and I like the deal for them. For the Bulls, it's whatever. It's a C grade. They could have gotten more for Kobe White in the past. They waited too long. That's kind of what the Bulls do. You get a couple of second-round picks, that's fine. I don't love that level of value, but I agree with trading Kobe White at this point, so I gave them a C grade. Next, Jonathan Kuminga to the Atlanta Hawks. For the Warriors.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Atlanta. Yeah. Traded Tingus Pingus for Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. We got the most athletic team in the league, maybe. Yeah, we gain a shooter in Buddy Hield. Then we get just a dog of a player in Jonathan Kuminga. As a Hawks fan, I feel like we needed a big man, another big man to add to the team, with Onyeka being undersized and barely playing defense, to our backup being Moge, and then us not really having a center. But then also we picked up Jock Landale, who ended up playing like Jokic his first game over here, drove to Atlanta, then come out, scored 26 points, 5 threes, all that. So he went crazy. We got our big man. But yeah, I like this trade. When Kuminga get healthy, for sure we're going to be going on a run. We're being top 5. Top 5 for sure.
I gave them an F. I don't get it. This is more
For the Warriors, good luck with Porzingis. That dude got an illness that I think his heart start racing when he stand up. So good luck with that. He may play about 11 games for y'all. So good luck. Thank you for the trade, by the way. Thank you.
of a referendum on the entire Kuminga was where we ended up. You trade him for Kristaps Porzingis, who the theory of Kristaps Porzingis helps the Warriors a lot. The actual Kristaps Porzingis they're going to get will not help the Warriors a lot, because he's probably not going to play. When he does play, he's not going to be very effective. This was basically just dumping a player just to change something, and I don't like that at all for a Warriors team that was involved in all these different rumors. I'm not sure what they were supposed to do with Kuminga, but they were supposed to do something with him probably 2+ years ago, and so I gave them an F. For the Hawks, I like it.
Hey, Shawty, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Gave them an A. The buy low on Kuminga, apparently he was pretty surprised that was the team he ended up on. And this is a team that's going to have opportunity for him, that is going to be kind of exploring things the rest of the season, trying to see exactly what they have. And worst case, if he's bad, Porzingis wasn't expiring anyway. Jonathan Kuminga has a team option this offseason. He just declines you decline the team option, and then he's gone, and it's all the same thing. And I'd much rather get a look at what Jonathan Kuminga could be the rest of the way than what I know Kristaps Porzingis can't be. So I really like the move for Atlanta. I gave them an A. Next up is probably one of my favorite trades of the entire deadline. Ayo Dosunmu to the...
You rated Minnesota A, dude. Come on. I'll say that's a good trade for Chicago. They're getting a dog in Rob. I feel like Rob didn't get a chance. In Minnesota, I feel like their coach, Chris Finch, he's not a good point guard coach. When you have another player that's a scorer on the team, Rob wasn't able to thrive in that because of the fact that Rob is a scorer. He goes out there and he goes get it and scores. So that right next to Ant wasn't working. I feel like he got a chance in Chicago to grow, and I feel like he's going to try his hardest to outplay all these guards that they got on the team, just to prove that he is like that. He was a top 10 pick in the draft, and he's not getting playing time, so he's going to go crazy in Chicago for sure. As far as Minnesota, Dosunmu is good for sure. He fits Minnesota perfectly because he's not a scorer for his point guard. So I feel like that for sure helps. I would grade the Timberwolves a B+, and then Probably Chicago a B for sure.
Minnesota Timberwolves for Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 second-round picks. For Minnesota, I gave them an A because I was getting very nervous about their deadline. There was a previous trade where they could have gotten Kobe White and chose not to, which left a roster spot open, which got a lot of people excited about what they might be doing around Giannis. Obviously, that wasn't what ended up happening, but them coming out of this deadline without an upgrade at the guard spot would have pretty much been a disaster. Minnesota's very good, and they desperately need help in the backcourt, and they were able to find it with the perfect player in Ayo Dosunmu. They correctly went ahead and moved on from the Rob Dillingham thing. They previously traded away Mike Conley, so they've really opened up their backcourt. 4 second-round picks is whatever. They're fine. And Ayo's going to be perfect for them. He's going to be able to guard. He's going to be able to shoot. He's going to be able to attack. He can play alongside Ant. He can play alongside some of these other guys. Absolutely perfect. He's a playoff player for them and someone that is really, really going to help. For Chicago, I gave them a B. I like the buy low on Rob Dillingham, although I'm not convinced that he's going to be any good. The 4 second-round picks are
Looking for tax help?
For sure. God, this dude run a lot of ads. But for sure, though, I feel like it's for sure it was a good move from Minnesota. I didn't know they gave up 4 second-round picks for him. But it's a good upgrade for Minnesota. Ayo Dosunmu is a dog. He goes get it, and he go crazy for sure.
Wonders if maybe they should have just kept Ayo and just extended him at this price rather than traded him away for what amounts to really not a whole lot. If Rob Dillingham doesn't become something, they basically traded Ayo for 4 second-round picks, which feels lower than what his value should have been. So I gave them a B, although I do appreciate them trying to find some kind of young player value in Dillingham. Next, the Knicks getting Jose Alvarado. This one will be quick. It's the Knicks. It's an A. It's an upgrade for them. They got rid of Yabusele. Their options in terms of making a move at the deadline were very limited, and Jose Alvarado is going to be really good for them. He's going to be awesome at home, especially Madison Square Garden's deadline were very limited, and Jose Alvarado is for them. They got rid of Yabusele. They're Jose Alvarado.
Or trade it doesn't even say who they got. So
No, this one will be quick. It's the Knicks. It's an A. It's an upgrade for them. They got rid of Yabusele. Their options in terms of making a move at the deadline were very limited, and Jose Alvarado is going to be really good for them. He's going to be awesome at home, especially Madison Square Garden's going to love him.
Sure.
It's a good deal for them. I like it. It's an A. For the Pelicans, they should have made other moves, but still I gave them a B for this one specifically. Some kind of value for Alvarado is good business for them. Not a whole lot else to say. Then let's talk about the Pacers getting Ivica Zubac.
My gosh, this trade was probably the craziest trade of the deadline. They traded Zubac and they got Bennedict Mathurin. I think 2 or 3 first-round picks. And yeah, and Indiana traded their pick this year, and I think it's protected from 1 to 4 and then 10 to 30. So if that pick lands to 5, the Clippers get a top 5 pick. So that is crazy, though. That's for sure an upgrade for the Clippers. That's for sure A+ for the Clippers, and I would say a B for the Pacers.
I did a full video on this one as well, but the Clippers, I'm giving them an A+. The fact that they have an opportunity to get 2 really valuable draft picks here, no matter what happens, they're coming away with 2 picks, and they both might be really, really good. They could have the 5th pick in the draft coming up, and Zoo is really good, and I get the contract and all that, but that's really, really good value. If you're getting the 5th, the 5th through the 9th pick, one of those, plus a 2029 unprotected first from Indiana, that's really good business for the Clippers. I like that a lot. I like their deadline a lot. I talked about this in the winners and losers video. They're my number 1 winner of the entire deadline. Meanwhile, the Pacers, I gave it a B-. I get it. Zoo's really good. The contract's good. He's going to be helpful for them. It just felt like
this is the type of move that you would do if Tyrese Halliburton was healthy. But like, y'all are the worst team in the East and y'all trade y'all pick. So unless they're expecting Tyrese to come back this year, that's crazy.
Really, really significant risk for a team that, I mean, they could end up with a top 4 pick still and Zoo, and then you just trade your 29 and 31 unprotected for Zoo, which is still pretty okay. And then you start next season with Halliburton, Zoo, whoever the pick is, and Siakam and Nembhard and Nesmith, and that's a really, really good team. I just worry a little bit that we overestimate where this team actually sits. They were awesome, obviously, at the end of last year and made the finals, but making moves like this, potentially losing the 5th pick in the draft, signals to me a team that really, really believes they're like this long-term, gonna be really good team and contending for the finals every year. And when your best player is coming off an Achilles injury, it makes me a little bit nervous to be making bets like that. But I totally get it. I understand it. And I gave them a B-, but I can still see how this would work out really well for Indiana. And those are all my grades for the NBA trade deadline.
Yeah, shout out Sports Logically. You feel what I'm
And
saying?
who is good, but also that
the good video. It was a crazy deadline, man. I feel like from the Giannis trade rumors to the Ja trade rumors, it was crazy this year. Like, Ja was supposed to get traded. Giannis over here pump faking, and then want to be a troll and post on Instagram talking about that he's staying or whatever, and he's not leaving. You're the one that requested a trade, so it does not make sense. But yeah, let me know what y'all think down in the comments. 100% of y'all don't make it to the end of the video, but if y'all did, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. I'm out. Yeah.